There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
That's when the cannibalism started.
Laugh, you fucking pigs! Eddie, I'm scared today.
Why are you scared?
Because I'm afraid that we won't live up to the potential of the moment.
I know.
You know?
I agree with that.
Like, you remember when Tiger Woods, he got in that car accident?
Well, it was late.
I know.
Yeah. I think he was inebriated, but I don't know for sure.
He was focusing on his recoup.
Yes.
Which is what distracted him from driving. That's what I'm afraid of.
You were driving like a maniac this morning.
I'm in a cutting phase. So I'm actually, the problem is the creatine makes me aggressive. But today we have something extremely special for you. Happy Halloween. It's a very special, unique, we've never done this before. It's just a one-off interview with an actor that fascinates. Someone that brings something extra to the table, as it were. Mm-hmm. And we're excited to have this person. We're not being paid.
No.
To push this. Oh, he's gone.
And we lost him.
Oh, well.
Oh, we can still hear him. All right, well, that's fine. We'll keep going.
That's fine.
As long as you don't go. Oh, man. I love just how it's spooky even talking to you over Zoom.
We can't even really, just to even bring the audience in, we had a little bit of a technical kerfluffle, but it's still frightening. Because we're watching, it's like, it seems like, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but your energy that the tubes are afraid of. Mm-hmm. But we have one of our new horror icons.
Yes.
We're very excited to have the actor who portrays Art the Clown, nay, is Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm actually able to be seen now.
Yeah, we can see you. You look good. We've been talking and singing the praises about the Terrifier films for the last couple of days.
Woo!
Surprise! It's like I feel like the entire country is sort of surprised at how much they've allowed themselves to like the films.
It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, because, like, when you look at it, you're like, this is for nobody, right? Like, you know, like, if I showed this to my mother, she would puke and die.
Well, hey, that's what it's for. Like, how did it all begin? Like, if those of you that don't know, the Art the Clown character, it did start in All Hallows Eve. Mm-hmm. Correct. So that was an anthology film that was like, but he was way more, it was kind of more of like a sketch almost in a way.
Yeah, that's what that was. Those were basically almost like proof of concept movies at the time because, you know, Damien was just doing that, just, you know, having fun with his friends, making movies, and
that was
they
the
were
OG.
picked up. And
that wasn't you. That's not you. That's some other guy.
That was Mike Gianelli. Yeah.
Now, is he angry?
Not that I know of. I mean, we met last year. Finally, got to do some cons together and everything like that. So he seems to be happy. He's a dad now, so he's got 2 little ones. So he's got his hands full. So I think he's, you know, well distracted.
That's actually. Do you think him being Art the Clown was actually making him infertile?
Oh no! I hope that's not the case with me.
Now, so did you audition to be in Terrifier?
I did, yes. They put a notice up on Actors Access when I was living in New York, and I just went in and did that. My agent even fought me on it. She saw no value in it because she's like, oh, it's an independent, low budget horror film. It'll never get you anywhere. And I was like, well, I wanted experience doing work in on film because I had always just done stage work and voiceover work, and I kept on just bugging her to submit me, and then I'm no longer with that agent.
Yeah, man.
See, they're always wrong. They're always, every story is like this. They're all like, they always said The Simpsons would never work. You know, like, they never, all that shit. So before you auditioned, because it's like, it says here that you were also in the Grinch musical?
I was, yes. I understudied the Grinch, who was Stephen Carl. He was Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. And I also played Grandpa Who.
Oh, wow. Was that with the full face? Was that also, like, have you always been doing prosthetics?
Yeah, pretty much. Ever since I was like a teenager doing children's theater, I was doing prosthetic work and like crazy makeup and stuff like that. So I'm pretty used to it. They actually asked me that when I was auditioning for Terrifier if I was used to prosthetics or a lot of makeup. I'm like, oh yeah.
Are you trained as a clown?
No, no, I didn't even go to school for acting. I just my classroom was always the stage and just watching like better actors and
Yeah.
just learning from them and adapting.
Amen.
Now, so you get into the Terrifier films. Like, I personally, I feel like some people call them the first one is probably the closest to a straight up torture porn versus any of the rest of them. Now, like when you're preparing for something like this, like in terms of the amount of like what the grisly stuff that you have to do, like I know that like on a set, it's not that emotional because everybody's having a blast, everybody's laughing and having a good time. So, like, what do you do to prepare to essentially do wanton violence?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. I just go in there and just do my thing. I mean, they have given me some like instruction on set, you know, how to do certain things with certain weapons and stuff like that. So, you know, like on part 3, I got on the set training on the proper way to actually swing an axe at object, I guess you could say.
Yes. Well, because you could tell you really, and this is not, you progress in the fleshing out of the character of Art the Clown so successfully through 2 and 3. Which is like, I actually thought it was very interesting. You can kind of see you get more comfortable as you go. Like, is it because of Damien Leone or like is it on yourself? Like, do you feel like when you are that style of character? I did a full thing on Adult Swim where I was fully body painted for many years, and on some level, when you're in that amount of makeup, sometimes I feel that a director, as much as I love Dave Willis, he's like a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Like, we're close. At what point I was like, am I a prop? Like, am I like literally a piece of costuming, or is there a man in here? Like, do you
God.
Yes.
I've had directors like that before, back, especially in my stage days. There's this one director who would micro direct everything I would do on stage down to like, okay, I want you to turn your head at this angle on this line. I'm like, oh my God, is any of this mine? It's like, or am I just a puppet here for you? But I mean, Damien is completely opposite. He's very actor friendly director. He's willing to hear ideas and like I would say more. He directs me more on like the killing in the horror aspects of everything when it comes to like more of the comedic bits. He'll give me some ideas sometimes, but most of the time he's just like, just go play. We'll see what we come up with. It's like the entire like bar scene. He basically let Howard, Brad Stryker, Danny Roebuck, and I just play for like 2 or 3 days on set, and that was just fun.
It was crazy because in Terrifier 3, it's like each scene is a different genre of horror movie. And like and that one was like a fun like kind of like campy scene, but then the next scene is just terrifying.
Yeah, it's great. That's the best part about the movie.
Yeah, and it really blew my mind, man. Now, one of the things I love about Art the Clown over like, you know, say like Jason Voorhees or something, is that no weapon is off limits to Art.
We love that he shoots people.
Yeah, I think
that's like one of our
Yes.
favorite bits is that he uses a gun. He uses the fact that, again, spoilers across the board.
But
the fact,
that's in the first one.
yes, but in
I think
Terrifier
in the
3,
first one, yeah.
Terrifier 3, the bombing is like when that happens. I think I was the only person in the theater that was like, awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, good work.
I mean, we
Blew
saw
up the kids.
Yeah.
Fuck them kids.
But is there any weapon that like would be off limits for Art, or is that would you know? Like, if I asked you about the lore of Art, would you know? Is that even like something that you have control over? Or?
No, I think everything's totally within bounds for him to use as a weapon. He likes to play. He likes toys. So it's like, yeah, it's like I love that idea with the bomb too. That was a brilliant idea that Damien had, and you actually see me the bomb being assembled during that one little bit there, and many people don't see that, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the bomb sitting right there.
There was like a thing. There's that little moment where it's like, oh shit, where's that bomb gonna go? Like, that was like the first thought I have. And I think that what you guys do good, which is like, I know that technically it's like a film trick, but I love the little pieces in the beginning, the seeds,
Mhm.
and then you're going to see each one of these pop off. Like
Yeah.
the beginning is so good in a Terrifier movie because it's setting the tone of this person's going to be dead and that person's going to be dead and that person's going to be dead. You love all this. You love all these people. They're all dead. And I'm that's my favorite.
Oh yeah, Damien's great at that. He is so good at like, planning everything out and just dropping little hints and everything there. I mean, he's been doing that from the get-go with the first film. He's been dropping little seeds and stuff like that that people still are starting now to pick up on. That's why I get so irritated when people are like, "Oh, there's no plot to these movies." Like, "Oh no, there most certainly is a plot."
Oh
Yeah, there very
There
much
most
is.
certainly there was some I think TikToker or something like that recently posted a video going over the plot of 2 and 3 especially and all these things. I was like, wow, this guy totally gets it. He totally understands what we're doing. Even Damien commented on him and said, "The dude, you nailed it."
My first thought when I saw 2 and 3 was like, that's Elm Street 3 and 4.
Yep.
And then we're careening into, you're going to go straight into the lore. Like in 4, Terrifier 4, when it probably will happen, is that it's going to go deep into the lore. We're now going to go into Art the Clown's full world, which excites me a great deal.
Oh yeah, it excites me too. I mean, I know a few things that he's got planned for part 4 or part 5 or whatever he's going, because he's still trying to I think decide if it's going to be 4 movies or 5 movies because he's got so many ideas. I'm thinking he's probably going to have 5 movies at least.
It should be.
Well, this is my question though: is that do you get afraid of yourself? Like, it's hard as an actor. I feel like as a person, you're like, I'll come back for 9 of these, right? Like I can do Art the Clown forever. But you ever feel like that you maybe yourself could end up jumping the shark with Art the Clown if you go too far? Like, is it a thing that like if he's doing 8, 9, 10, and you're gonna be like, maybe it should be a lady. Maybe it should be like, somebody, some other version of the clown. Like,
Well, there
I don't
was a
know.
lady.
Yes, who's great. She's got to come back, right?
Who knows? I have no idea. He's keeping so many things close to his vest right now. So I'm just like, he likes to surprise us as well. So he doesn't tell us things until we read the script and we're like, oh shit, are you kidding me? So I have no idea. But to answer the question, I totally get afraid of that. I'm totally afraid of going too campy with things, and because I don't want him just to be just how Freddy became later on after Wes Craven lost control of the character.
We literally were talking about this right before you came on.
Yeah, it's the touch. Because the key is the touch. I've always loved. Again, Freddy Krueger's probably my favorite icon because he's funny.
Yeah.
But you know that the movies aren't as good. It's like this double-edged sword where the movie is not as good.
Yeah.
You know that the later Elm Streets are not as good, but I'm like, just put Robert Englund into my veins. It doesn't even really matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something we've been very conscientious of since the very first Terrifier film. We're always trying to walk that line of going too campy with the comedy in this. And we do film some scenes where I do a lot more comedic takes on it. And then we're like, okay, that's just too far. But like we have it there just in case, because you never know, you might find something from it you can use. I look at like the torture scene in the first film where I've got Tara tied up to the chair. I did a whole bunch of takes with different weapons coming in. I was doing comedic routines with them. There was like this one thing that I had a club with a big, huge spike on it, and I did the whole like fake golfing bit from like Johnny Carson or so. Like it was just like.
Yeah.
But he is a clown. He's supposed to. This is his act. He is. There is an audience of one, and
it's Art the Clown.
You are performing.
He's obviously having a very good time.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We have to still acknowledge that he is a clown, so he is having fun, but we don't want to go too cartoonish campy with it all. We don't want to totally jump that kind of shark. We still need to keep it in that realm of believability and horror as well.
Can I also ask, getting this much attention as a scary person, like, do you think that the people that follow you, your fans, do you think that quality has also changed? Because it's like, I do find that there are people that, like, when you're in a darker aspect of entertainment, that there are people that sort of maybe connect with the wrong thing a little bit about what it is that you're doing, and you have to deal with like scary people.
Yeah, there might be a few of those people out there and stuff like that, but it's few and far between. I've found like horror fans in general are, by the vast majority, are just the coolest, sweetest, kindest people to ever meet. It's actually, I think, some of the other people that kind of scare me more
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah, like comedy fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any clowns that you would like study to get mannerisms, or is this all just like you?
Oh yeah, definitely so. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of the great silent comedians and clowns. I mean, I was watching like, Marx Brothers and Charlie Chaplin and even like Emmett Kelly Jr. and Emmett Kelly and Mr. Bean was a huge influence on me as well. Marcel Marceau, Peter Sellers, Don Knotts. I could just go on and on, list all these, Jim Carrey, just on and on and on. Actually, Stefan, who I understudied for Grinch, he was professionally trained in clowning and mime work. So I took a lot of what I learned from Stefan and put it into art. You can actually watch videos of Robbie Rotten and compare them to Art the Clown, and you'll see probably a lot of similarities with mannerisms.
That's really interesting.
Awesome. Now, is there any music that like you would listen to kind of like get in the mood? Just like, do you like play circus music or something before you get out there? Or?
No, not really. I mean, not for myself, but like a lot of the times in the chair when Damien, especially in parts 1 and 2, when Damien was doing my makeup, he was listening to a lot of yacht rock.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I think is so funny. People probably think Damien's like this hardcore badass listening to heavy metal all the time. No, man, he grooves to yacht rock. He loves yacht rock and 80s music. We will drive, like when we're going to set something like 2-hour, 3-hour drive sometimes upstate. We would just be sitting there listening to like yacht rock and 80s music the whole entire time, just grooving out. That's just how we are. But like for myself though, I will sometimes just for shits and giggles put on something. I sometimes would like to put on like the song, Danny Elfman's song from the first Batman movie with the Joker's like Waltz to the Death.
Oh yeah.
I think that's just always just puts me in that little wacky, little mischievous, evil clown type of mode. So sometimes I will just think that in my head if I have to go a little bit nuts, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
In a scene.
Do you feel like now that the movie got, like, Terrifier 3 probably got the biggest, like, budget, the most legit budget. How is it going from being driven by the director to set, who would do the makeup, and then you'd shoot, obviously probably like the most shoestring crew possible like an actual, movie set? Like, how, like, is there anything you miss, or is there anything, what's better?
Oh, we still had a lot of the old school feel to it all because we weren't a full on like traditional movie set where we didn't have the honey wagons or anything like that. So it wasn't a huge leap, but it was we did have, a makeup team that came in this time, and
Cool.
So that was definitely a nice thing to have there because it allowed Damien more freedom too, because he wasn't having to stop my making and go on to set and do stuff and come back and do my makeup more and stuff. So that was nicer in that way, but yeah, we're still not like what you traditionally see here in Hollywood on a set. So we still had that independent feel to a lot of things.
Because they changed the makeup too, right? Didn't they do a thing? Because it used to be sort of different separate pieces, and then they just made it a whole mask for you, essentially?
No, it was always a one whole mask, but the original mask wasn't even molded to my face. It was Mike Gianelli's original mold.
Yeah.
And so it didn't fully fit my face. Damien always had to manipulate it so it would fit my face. But this time, Christian Tinsley, his team that did our makeup for this one on part 3, they actually did a new sculpt and mold of my face. So it's a little bit more gaunt than the last one was, because Damien wanted art to be more gaunt in this one. And
it looked good.
I love the look. And they also gave me scroll lenses for my eyes this time. So my eyes were different. And like part 2, I had my natural green eyes, and part 1, I had contacts for a little bit, and then like we had one night where I had a rip in my lenses, and so I couldn't wear them for that night, and we had to film. So we decided from that point on I would just be wearing my regular eyes, and if anybody knows, what the hell,
Yeah, why? You're not paying attention to the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of just say in my head, like the eye color changed after he got knocked out by the exterminator. So I was like, oh yeah, the contacts popped out, and so now that's
Yeah,
why.
sure, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
but in this
definitely
one,
didn't notice.
he's rebirthed, so now he's become more demonic in part 3, so he has different eyes going forward.
This is a question that we were talking about before.
Is he a human in the first one?
Yes.
Okay, and when does it become supernatural?
At the very end of part 1, where he's brought back from the dead.
Yes. And then, so he was just a man.
Yes.
And so the face underneath the makeup, you would assume, would have just been like Art the Clown. So what's Art the Clown? What was his day like?
Yeah, what did he do during the day?
What's
did he
his
have
like?
a job? Did he what was that?
Oh, you can't say yet?
Can't say yet.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, I'm glad there is an answer though.
Yes, that's one of those things too. Where that'll be great. Everyone will be very excited to see that jump in.
Yeah, I will say this, that I know for one thing, for his origin, we don't want to make him a sympathetic character.
No,
we
good.
don't want him to have one of those tragic backstories where he was abused and blah 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 blah. We basically, how I view him in my head is he came out of his mother's womb and strangled her with his own umbilical cord. He's just evil incarnate. He is just. That's why hell latched onto this guy. He's like, this is our avatar on Earth.
We love this guy.
Evil. Yeah.
We love this guy. Yeah, it's like it's the same variant of he's from the seed of 1,000 maniacs.
Yeah, exactly. He was just born evil. And that's the thing, is like, I do genuinely believe there are some people that are that way. They just came out of the womb and they are just fucked up in the head. I knew a kid like that when growing up, where he was this kid that lived across the street from one of my best friends, and I saw him flat out just take glee in killing, squirrels.
Yes.
Right. He would like shoot them with his BB gun and watch them bleed out, or he would just strangle them himself. And I was like, this kid's just evil. And my mom was like, do not play with that kid ever again. He's evil. I'm like, God. So that's how I view Art. He was just born that way. He just had that tendency from the very get-go where he just loved to kill things. It brought him joy.
I also find that people that have the happiest existence play unrepentant maniacs really well. And I can tell from the Lego on the shelf behind you that you seem like a very happy-go-lucky man.
That comes from, years of struggling. Though.
Yes,
I'm
pain.
happy with, that's, I was bullied relentlessly growing up, but it's like, how I escaped all that was finding the things that brought me joy and brought me happiness. And so it's like, I am a child at heart in a lot of ways. I guess some people would say I am like Arrested Development in some ways.
People have said that about me too, and it's like, whatever, you idiot, whatever, you fucking butthead, fuck you.
You're a stupid face.
Shut up. Oh, I'm a child? Well, you got big ass and stupid feet. And I hate you. Yeah. So save that in your pocket if you ever need. Turn around.
I think it's just all that bullying I went through. It's like I think I've been able to channel a lot of that on set. I mean, there are even times on set where I'm just not fully giving them what they need for an attack or something like that, and they'll just go, "Hey, Dave, just pretend it's this certain person and go." And I'm like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh shit, Dave, where'd that come from?" I was like, repressed rage.
Yeah. Do you remember how much you hate Rachel Ray? Imagine this is Rachel Ray.
Exactly.
Now, earlier you were saying how sometimes you like to put on the song from the first Batman movie where Joker did. Now, I've heard a rumor that you are gunning to play the Joker at some point. Is this true?
I am.
Yeah,
no pun intended. Totally gunning. Gunning for it.
Yes.
I want that role so badly. I'm like, that's my dream role. That is a character I have wanted to play fully. I played him on a YouTube series like 9-10 years ago, and that was a lot of fun, and I got a good taste of playing the character. And I really want to play him in more official capacity. And because I love the character so much, and I'm so freaking tired of seeing Hollywood bastardizing this character.
Yeah,
I miss Cesar Romero Joker.
Yes,
yeah.
I miss over the top, ridiculous Joker.
Well,
Yes,
I would
and
say
you can do that and be sadistic and evil and scary at the same time. And
Look at
I'm
what
like
Mark
my
Hamill
version.
did. Mark
Yes,
Hamill revolutionized that
Yeah.
angle of Joker.
Exactly. That's why Mark is my favorite version of Joker, because like he truly understands that character. You could tell he did his research, and especially you look at the especially the 80s 90s version of Joker. That's when he got a lot darker.
Yeah.
And actually, the very first version of Joker was very dark too. He was a a homicidal maniac then too, and it was because back in the mid 1900s, that's when they were like, oh, we got to be a lot more wholesome and friendly, so they made it more campy then. But it's like I want to return more to like that Alan Moore era of or like that kind of dark Joker, killing joke.
Have you ever
Death
thought
in
about
the
let me
family.
pitch this to you. All right. You do a thing where your movie is everybody's calling you the Joker.
Mhm.
But it's revealed that it's a musical in a courtroom. Listen. It's a musical in a courtroom. And you've never been the Joker at all. And the only time that you ever even admit to not being Joker is after you've been group sexually assaulted by a bunch of jailers. So what do you think? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Fuck no.
Man,
No.
isn't it crazy that you, as Art the Clown, defeated the Joker this year? It is
That's the only thing I want to remind you, dude. Is that
was
technically you
insane.
won. Technically you beat the Joker.
That's insane when you think about it. And what's even crazier about it, it was Art the Clown versus Arthur the Clown.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it was Arthur too.
Which was insane. It's just like,
But he was never a clown.
yeah,
Well, kind of. He was street clown.
He was sort
yeah,
of.
he's a street clown.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
he
yeah.
does. Yeah, I guess in the
Yeah.
end, if you call yourself one, then you are one. You know? So, how else has your life kind of changed? Or is it just like, I guess if people say shit like this, I know that I'm certain that the money's just rolling in.
It's not really rolling. It's starting to. It's
Yeah,
a nice,
It's going to,
it's
though,
a nice
man.
trickle, which I'm okay with, because like I spent like 13 years of my life basically struggling to make ends meet, waiting tables in New York City. So it's
Hey,
like,
man, I hear you. Village Poorhouse over here.
Yeah.
Where'd you work?
oh God, so many different restaurants. I started off working at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company in Times Square.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Holy
No wonder you
fucking
killed
Fourth ring of
people.
hell.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That place is awful.
Oh, the stories I could tell you about that place.
You could probably base Art the Clowns off of 5 people you can meet at that Bubba.
Oh,
Gump.
yeah,
my
just
God.
doing a shift there one night. It's
As
enough to
art
make
would
you
be
go crazy.
amazing.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
Can I also ask you, this is one of those very kind of practical setty things. What do you do? Like Kate Corcoran is a friend of ours. In her now very famous scene in Terrifier, in terms of the horror films, she's hung upside down, completely naked, and you cut her through her cooter, through her snooter, and she knows that is in there. That's Lex.
Cooter
That's
to the snooter. I gotta
That's
remember
full
that.
lore.
See, I call that the up at the crack of dawn scene.
Yes, yes, of course. When you're hanging out on set, I did it. I've done a couple of movies with nudity, but it's what do you do between set? Is it one of those where obviously you're trying to get this wrapped,
Right.
right? It's because she is physically hanging upside down,
And
correct?
she's
Yes.
a wonderful lady.
Oh, she's the
And
Oh,
sweet.
God, I love
she's
that.
only doing it because she's so nice. She's
Yeah.
only doing it because
She's
she's so happy.
amazing.
Yes,
She
and
is
she's
amazing.
so down for it. But what's the mid? How? Do you feel was that Damien's kind of role to comfort her, make sure things were moving along? Do you feel in those functions, are you kind of just trying to stay out of it and get it done as quickly as possible, or are you joking around? How do you handle that?
That night I was not joking around at all, because that was very dangerous what we were
Yes.
doing with her too. And it was freezing cold, and there was 20 degrees.
Always.
Oh, my
And
God.
so that was miserable for her. So I was more concerned about just trying to make her feel as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
I'm like that all the time. I'm like with especially any of the fight scenes. I'm always trying to check in with my co-stars, making sure they're okay and everything. I think they probably get annoyed with me because I'm always saying, "Oh my God, are you okay? I didn't hurt you or anything like that." But like, especially when it has to do with nudity or anything like that, I try to be as respectful as possible. I'm like, it's just because that's something it's a very personal thing. It's very invasive to be exposed in such a manner, and I try to. I was raised to be a gentleman in that way by my father, especially. And so I'm like, I try not even to look at what's going on. I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm going to like look over here because it just feels wrong.
Well, you also, the best part is that, as a fellow bashful man, when you're in character, it's better because then it's like, I'm Art the Clown. I can sit here. I can, I'm much scarier because, that's what's interesting, too. You think I don't want to look at these naked ladies. Everybody's staring at you.
Yeah.
They're looking at the evil clown.
And I think you not wanting to look is also terrifying.
Yeah. Art the Clown acting bashful is almost even scary.
I am really, I become like that vulture from Looney Tunes. No.
Yeah.
No. Because that's just how I was raised. I'm like, okay, someone's in a state of, because that's also how I was just doing community theater. Sometimes people would have to make a costume change right on the side of the stage because it was a quick turnaround, and you just had to okay, that's going on. I'm going to be respectful and look down or something like that. And
I'll always remember in junior high school when I had to choose between drama and hockey, and I remember talking to the dudes in the hockey team, being like, that there's naked women over in drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like here, I'm just surrounded by all these
naked
sets
dudes.
Of balls.
It's a sausage fest.
Yeah. I was like, I want to go there. And they all thought I was crazy. They thought I was homosexual. But I said
I got
no.
that too.
Yeah. And I was just like, no, sirs. I am more than just one. I am all.
Oh man! So you're obviously, this is Halloween. You're in your busy season. The movie just came out. This is also a straight up Christmas movie.
Yeah. You're gonna have to promo this again.
You're gonna have to go through all of this again, and then it's gonna be. But the thing is, we were talking about with the budget and all this or whatever. Forever, people are going to be watching Terrifier 3 over Christmas.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great. I once interviewed Macaulay Culkin. He says he gets $1 million every year from Home Alone every Christmas.
Oh, and God, I wish that would happen with me. That would be amazing.
I'm saying probably like 60,000.
I'll take that.
Hey.
How about a few Lego sets?
Hey, absolutely. They get more expensive each time. Do you have a family?
I have a dad and a sister back home.
No,
in
I mean, I know you come from humans, but I didn't know if you have kids.
No, I haven't gotten lucky enough to find a lady to settle down with yet. It's just I've been too
hear
busy.
That? You hear that, ladies? Hey, come on down. Art the Clown is single. He doesn't know yet how to make sweet love. Someone's gonna have to teach him.
I definitely do want to get married and have kids. I'm actually at that phase of my life now where I definitely do want to settle down and do that, because for years I was working just so I could live comfortably so I can have a family, because waiting tables in New York City, there's no way I was going to be able to support a family and kids with
it's a nightmare.
Just bring them to work.
And you're getting ready for it because you're making a children's movie. You're playing Mickey Mouse.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to know. Can I ask about? So now, for those of you who don't know, there was a little teaser trailer before Terrifier 3 for the new. I guess it was as soon as Steamboat Willie, the copyright ran out, because I got a shirt that says "Fuck you, asshole" with Steamboat Willie on it immediately from our buddies Met Syndicate. But my question is that when you. So how did that all happen? How quickly did that go down? So the movie's called Screamboat, and you're playing a horror version of Steamboat Willie.
Yes.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to tell us, but more just how the when did all that kind of happen?
This all started happening last year, because the director from that is also my director from The Mean One, and he went to school with the Fuzz on the Lens guys from Terrifier, so they kind of partnered up for this film, because he's he knew this property was coming out in public domain, and in this year, and he's like, well, I want to snap it up before anybody else does because I have a great idea for this, and why not? So he approached me last year. It's like, hey, I have this script playing Willie. Will you do it? I'm like, oh my God, yes, of course, because it's a full circle moment for me too, because my first big real leading role was back in 8th grade at my middle school. I played Mickey Mouse in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that was the show that made me decide that I wanted to do theater more because I
so
liked
funny.
making people laugh and everything like that. So it's a full circle moment. So I'm like, I have to do this. There's no way I'm not doing this. So that's what we did, and we're like, okay, let's start filming it. Let's do it. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just did ADR for it last week, so that was a lot of fun for me. A lot of whistling.
I can't wait. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see it. It'll be like anything.
Oh, it's
that,
insane.
Anything that fucks
it's-
with Mickey, I'm happy with.
It is such a horror comedy. We're really leaning into the campy horror, like comedy type of vibe for this. We're not trying to go full Terrifier, just trying to be dark and scary. We're like, oh no, we know what we are. We're having fun with it, and there's so many Disney jokes in there. It's like it's a big, huge love letter to Disney and Disney fans. So I think the Disney fans will have so much fun with this movie.
That sounds
And
great.
it also has one of my Terrifier co-stars in it, Kaylee Hyman.
Oh, great.
Oh, nice.
So she's in it too. She's hysterical.
God, I can't
Oh.
wait for this. You know, now that we're going to be wrapping up here, I just want to leave the audience with, were you a horror movie guy really before all this?
I was a little bit. I was more of a comedy guy though. I
Yeah.
was late to horror. I didn't start watching horror until my senior year of high school because my mom was afraid of horror movies and stuff like that. So we just
Yes.
didn't watch them in my family. But I saw Scream 2 in theaters because I couldn't chicken out in front of this girl I had a crush on in a show, and they all
Yeah.
went to go see it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. And I had a blast. And I was like, I love horror. But I
Yeah.
never thought I would be doing this, though. I was always a comedy guy. I wanted to do comedy and Broadway and like voiceovers for cartoons, and that's what I was doing a lot of that before I took on Terrifier. I was doing a lot of voiceover work for children's shows.
Dude, it's kind of funny what doors open. And
It's
what leads
crazy.
you. This
Yeah.
business is very strange. And I do think it's like, I wish that in college someone had taught me more about that it's not just be a movie star.
Yeah,
Is necessarily make it in show business. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you never know where the fuck it is this thing's going to take you.
no, you just gotta. I learned a long time ago. You just got to go with the flow. Wherever it leads you, just go with it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did that because I wouldn't be here. I would still
So
probably
crazy.
be waiting tables in New York City right now, struggling to get by.
Yeah, think
Yeah.
about the things you didn't get that you were angry about, right? Like,
Oh,
or
yeah.
upset or sad about. Now you're really.
Oh yeah,
now
I mean
you're
that
doing
literally
something
happened.
else.
I was up for 5 or 6 different Broadway tours right before I got Terrifier, and they all fell through
Yeah.
for me. And I was very frustrated. I was in like final callbacks for like Susan Stroman and Roger Reeves and all these people, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so close to getting something, and so why won't something stick? And there's a reason for that, because if I had gotten any of those, I wouldn't have been able to do Terrifier, and who knows?
Isn't that weird? Isn't it
You
fucking
are
crazy?
one of the all-time horror icons now.
Yeah, it's in there
I mean,
now.
3 really
Is that
solidified
fucking
it.
crazy? Isn't that ridiculous? Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It is very. I mean, I was just walking down the street here in Burbank the other night, just getting dinner. I had my glasses on, everything. I was a little bit disheveled because I had just gotten off the airplane, and this one woman just recognized me right there on the street and like ran up to me and was like, "Oh my God, I have to say something to you." And I'm like, "I'm amazed you know who I am."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so eventually you're gonna get a lot of like, kill me,
Yeah.
not coming, kill me, pretend to choke
yeah.
me,
Yeah.
pretend to choke me.
And Burbank is a horror town.
Oh, it
too.
is very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
Well, so is there any what's your favorite horror movie?
I really love just Wes Craven in general. I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I'm also a big Scream fan.
Yeah.
I love slashers. That's always been my favorite genre of horror movies, is slashers. I think they're just fun.
So for tonight for Halloween, what are you doing? What's your plan?
I don't have any plans because I'm going out of town. So for Halloween.
You're traveling? Aren't the
I am
clowns
traveling
jump?
on Halloween. It
I'm
makes me
so
upset.
disappointed.
That's a true spooky professional.
Yeah.
That's a true spooky professional. It's called a work day.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
work day. It's a
It's
work
the busy
day.
season, we call it over here.
Yeah.
It's crazy because everybody's like, "What are you dressing up as?" I'm like, "I'm going as myself because I dress up all year long as other characters." So
I
it's like,
hear
I'm
you,
going
man.
as myself.
You'll have other years where you'll celebrate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you'll celebrate, and eventually you're gonna be the point when you're doing Terrifier 15, just being like, when you're in a full scuba suit and on the water set, and you're just gonna be like, this is the last one. All right, I'm not. You're like screaming over a tender green salad, being like, I'm not doing this again. You know, like just cut to that. Just know.
Send up my stunt double. I'm not
What
doing
the hell
this
I
shit
gotta
today.
do? Goddamn Sydney, you tell Sydney Sweeney I'm busy. All right, thank you. I can't. I must work. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's horrible. No, it's disgusting. And you didn't say it. I said it.
Yeah,
No.
Thank you so much, David Howard Thornton.
You're
Art the Clown.
welcome.
This was lovely, man.
Is there anything else you want people to go look for?
My
Is there anything
other
you-
film Stream just came out on streaming platforms. It was in theaters a few months ago.
It's called Stream.
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 And it's now streaming.
On,
Okay.
Is it on? Do you know which one? Just any? It's like a
I know it's
Prime
at
or
least on Amazon Prime right off
Got
the
it.
top of my head. So
Go
yeah.
sweet.
Nice. And go see Screamboat when that comes out. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that.
and
man.
more importantly, go see Terrifier 3.
Oh,
Take your
Yes.
family.
and then watch it again
sneak
over
in-
Christmas.
Sneak in your kids. I
Yeah.
actually think
Oh,
that this
yeah.
is the one to really sneak in the kids to. You could but no infants. Someone
No
brought an
infants.
infant. Someone brought an infant.
Oh,
in Terrifier
God.
3.
Why?
And they were just like, I guess it's because they can't. They know that the baby won't.
Yeah, they can't
No.
afford a babysitter, and they have to see
Yeah.
you kill people.
They have to see you kill people. So isn't that great? That's
It
called
is,
a
it's
sticky
great.
audience.
We did a screening this past weekend up in Detroit to a huge giant IMAX theater, and there were children in the audience, and I even called them out. I'm like, "Oh wait, how old are you?" And they're like, "I'm 6." And like, "Where's your parent?" And
it's
the
like, you
mom's
gotta
over there
get
like,
outta
"Hi."
Yeah, it's like you
I'm
gotta
like,
get
"Okay,
out
your
of here.
parents are here. It's fine."
Yeah.
Terrifier 3. Terrifier's hard to take.
Yeah.
But hey, I see. Hey,
I leave
Who
it up
knows?
to the parents to decide because certain
yeah,
kids
that's
can
their-
handle things.
go whatever
I mean,
you want.
I'll look at like Chrissy Fox, who's in part 3, her daughter Elle, who I would go to war for. She's 5 years old and she loves horror films. She loves horror films.
That's how I
And-
was.
Yeah,
And look at
It's-
me.
she's great. She's totally fine. She's the cutest little thing. She travels like we were on a airplane together. I pass her going to the restroom, and Elle just looks up at me and goes, "I'm watching Abigail," and she's holding an art and clown doll in her hand. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's amazing.
it's the cutest thing.
I
was like,
so
love
yeah,
this
that's
child.
perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, thank you so much, man. Happy Halloween.
Congratulations, buddy. This is
thank
fucking
you.
amazing. You're really taking the world by storm. It's so cool to talk to
It's
you.
a wild ride. I'm just very grateful for it. So,
and we'll
like,
definitely
it's-
have you back for 4.
Oh, definitely. We're
Please.
definitely coming back for 4 too.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh.
Oh,
All right, well, hail Satan and happy Halloween.
hail art. The clown and the genre.
Yeah, the genre of
Yeah,
stuff.
all of that.